You have so much information because you're objective and your visions are not clear.
Every story boils down to one or two or three generalizable truths.
The goal of design is to learn.
So every design college has its own approach to teaching, but the industry is evolving very quickly. How can students make most of what they learn to help them with real world projects? Everything is
Like,
like
then you start saying in a flow, right? Feels like you're about to like flurry a student. I lose you. To say that again, Kalyani.
I was just saying that the industry trends are like changing rapidly. Like something new is coming in. There's AI tools, AI automation, and AI agents as well. How do we as college students keep up with that? And how do we incorporate the incoming trends into our college design projects?
See, this sounds so authentic and real. Speak like this. Everyone know like Riya. Okay. Yeah, I think I think AI is huge. I think actually let me ask you guys. How are you currently using AI in college right now?
Writing is definitely one thing that we use AI. We have a lot of coding classes. We take help of
Image generation, visualization, then video making, the View 3, and also Lovable AI for like many other tools that come along with that.
still experimenting
Experimenting with it, whatever we can, because most of these tools are not free for us. You need subscription. So by having some jugaad, when that end.
and we are also motivated that you can use AI tools in our classwork. So it's not anything which is banned, but obviously conscious use of AI needs to be there. I think one thing that I'm kind of concerned about AI is that everything sounds very similar, at least at this point of time. So our consumption is very, what do I say, one sort of a tone. And I'm kind of afraid that we are losing the sense of how literature is so beautiful, you know?
Agreed. It's like you open LinkedIn and it's like plethora of you know what, I learned this, not just this and this and that, and it's just monotonous.
Monotonous, yeah. It's very monotonous.
It's very boring. Like everybody is using the same language, the same pictures also. Hey, I attended this designathon, you know, this is what I experienced. And like 100 plus people came over here and I got the chance to meet across the audience. Some 20, 30 designers.
So similarly, how do we find our own voice when our consumption is only so one-sided, you know?
Yeah. I think for me, I think one of the things that I'm taking away is like, I think the funny thing is your world's never gonna go back to what it was.
Asha.
So as much as you like it, hate it, it is gonna get better. Like everything that seems like a problem by like there was this movie called Bodies. It had I don't remember the name exactly, but it had this quote that said everything is like the way things are supposed to be done until you find the new ways of doing things and then becomes a new way things are done. It was intentional how they made it sound. But that is so true because 15 years back, if someone told you that your phones when they were this are actually going to be just a single piece without a wire,
No one
you
would.
do not believe that.
Yeah.
10 years back, if you told someone that, oh, on this piece which you talk to, you can actually order clothes, order food, order cab, you would have not believed that.
Yeah.
And then every time we started moving on to that side thing, there was someone who was always like, oh, why would I do this? This is, consumerism, this is this, that. Eventually the world does what they value. And I think before AI, the gap between education of what you're taught and what you're supposed to do at real work was big. No one was able to solve for it. Because you guys had to reach where we are, and we are doing something very rapidly good. And you guys are getting taught what was implement like those Higgs law and all of that gap, which was set into books after it was used for such a long time. Now we are moving at a fast pace and you guys are reading documented stuff. What we are doing right now is not even getting documented. So how would you learn about it? But it has just gotten worse now. Why? Because now the speed of it because of AI has increased so much that we are struggling as professionals to figure out how do we figure out a workflow around this. जो ये था अब वो ये हो गया. it is not going to be easy for you because everything that, okay, think about it. Most companies needed starter jobs. Why? Because anyone who's experienced over time does not want to do certain chores that feel repetitive and non exciting as, let's say, design. So they'll say, don't worry, I pay you a lot. You do the hard stuff. I'm going to pay someone a little less. They will come in and start a job. They will learn your rails and eventually they will move to where you'll move ahead. The next set of next generation of people will come in.
Right.
With AI, a lot of this has become a lot easier.
True.
That means everything they were relying on starter jobs to do is now being automated in some ways or the other.
Right.
Now they're like, why do I need this, guys? A person who has enough experience and knows AI here and there can do it. So for you guys, you're not even fighting for the same seats now.
True.
You are supposed to learn a lot more skills, a lot more execution capability to like do something. So you are at a very big disadvantage here. The only way to catch up with this is you literally have to follow these 150 accounts which tell you what's out there in the market. You have to try everything. Every time you see that, okay, one thing is catching up, you have to latch onto it and execute it and try it and be like, okay, in my skill set. If you have used Higgs field, like, okay, pehle, you had Sling AI, you had Nano Banana, you had all of these guys coming, like, mining was refining model. And then you realize that all of these were never supposed to be front-end tech. All of this is supposed to be a creative powerhouse that lets you generate this one meaningful data. You'll see LinkedIn, Instagram having a lot of these random videos of random things. It does not make any sense because it does not solve a purpose. It does not lead to a story, just a random clip that AI can generate. But if you made a meaningful launch trailer for a product through that, that's meaningful use of AI. That would require image generation from Nano Banana, attaching your 2 generated image with Kling AI, getting the sound on it with synth.co. Like, that is where you use all of these to create something. So you have to be in that space to know that what is out there. What can make me achieve the result that I want? You have to start thinking in first principles again. That's saying that if, like, you always need to know exactly what are you trying to solve for. The how keeps on changing in world. If I had to do a launch trailer, how? 5 years back was After Effects, Illustrator, create, make it thing, use After Effects, generate this thing and do. The same thing that you want right now, the how in today's world is use Nano Banana, put a reference image, get the product out, feed generated ambience, now attach it through VO, make this whole thing happen, add sound through this, like that's your new work. So you need to start figuring out what is the latest how, and that is the only way you can be on the top of the game.
Correct. So as you said that AI is doing a lot of the grunt work already. So should we not learn the very foundation, the basics of those things and then maybe take on executive decisions? What I'm asking is, should we start with a non-gear car before learning the gear car? That's what my question is, basically.
Yeah. Are you asking about like fundamentals?
Fundamentals in the sense ki, okay, let's say there are lots of tools which can already do the video editing. But should I learn about, how fade in, fade out works? Like very minor things, like.
It's like, for example, we have motion graphics, we have After Effects. Now, After Effects for a new person is overwhelming because that software has so many features, but it also is a complete one pack thing. Like if you're starting out, it's a very good tool once you start learning in this thing. So right now there are tools that are already making some basic motion graphics. So I think Ashmita is pointing out, should we learn After Effects from scratch while also looking around what our competitors are doing, or should we just see what's happening around and work on there?
Basically, should we focus on the skill or the concept, or should we build from, like, learn from ground up?
Because learning these
time.
things takes time. And these kind of softwares are not like one day you sat, saw a video and learned it. It takes
Time. Yeah.
a week, 2 weeks time to understand keyframing, all of that.
I'll tell you what, like, I think, let's say, Adobe has dominated this market for a very long time, right? And when it first came out, it was not so overwhelming. It was like Figma. Figma, when it first came out, was like normal bacha like sketch. Now they have buzzed out auto layout, constraints, variables, The same journey that Adobe also had, like, became as simple thing, then eventually became like this bulk of insane things that you can do. The thing about such tools is the people who made it, they never realized what the person using it can create. the people who were artists were far more creative than the people who created these tools. Because I can make a circle, but a circle ko gul gul ghuma hua ke तुमने pool बना दिया is your art, right? The people who solve for storytelling, narration, art, vision are always going to be the most leading folks in this industry, no matter what tool comes and goes. जिसके दिमाग में वो चीज़ बन गई है, उसके लिए मैटर नहीं करता वो अडोबी में बना रहा है या फिर वो जिटर में बना रहा है, they will always find a way. I would not rely on tools. The fundamentals don't exist in the tools. The fundamental exists in what is a good storytelling, what is a good narrative, how do you make someone feel something when they look at this. And अगर मैं टाइम मशीन से 10 साल पहले जाऊँ, I would do it in Adobe. अगर मैं टाइम मशीन से 10 साल आगे जाऊँ, maybe I'm just going to be messing with this one AI tool that just asks me, okay, what is the kind of, angle that you want, the flow that you want, and I describe it and I'll do it for you. That is the way, that is the journey that we're on in this world right now. I would say crack that. And then be like, okay, right now, like, I use After Effects. It is something that I kind of studied. I feel I'm good at it. What it gave me is like understanding of frames in terms of how can I make frame by frame, like these frame editing, like how do I want to give a good flow, the curve. I know all of that. But now I have gone into a space where now I'm leading a team. So all I'm left with is a vision. Like that's the best I can get with them, right? The best thing that I either can do is they can find this amazing vision or idea that they have, and then I can transpire it to you in a way that it becomes your way. Like I make you fall in love with an idea so hard that you just take that idea and you make it your own. And then you figure out all your ways, and then I could keep on coming in and be like, what if you do this? Because all I have is vision now. Execute on, I think the phase that you were going to enter is going to be the execution phase. So yes, you will have to learn the tools. You will have to learn some tool that you can skin the next 5 years at least. But what will make you stand out is not execution, but also visualization part of it. And that will only happen once you focus more on the what, less on the how. Because once you know that I want to make in club, you will go to YouTube, will look at different tools, and you will find a way to make that thing that you're looking for. That is bound to happen. And I think the biggest problem with people who look at tutorials before thinking of what they want to create is that, I think this happened. Sapta makes amazing tutorials, right? He made this tutorial about a sneaker carousel. The dude wanted me to understand how to create something that is visually good looking product and how to make interaction that looks smooth. A right person would look at it and understand how do I move blocks around, how do I get elements of certain physics when they kind of scroll and they say, like, there's so many learners in that.
Right.
Guess what happened? We had 400 resumes saying that I know animation design with the same sneakers, say tutorial moving around. Literally chhat diya. The whole point of that was to understand fundamentals, not a literal context, right? Use that fundamental, make something of your own. That you're supposed to do. I think that is something that gets missed at times. People think tool is art supremacy, but trust me, design systems, all of these things are not what creators are supposed to do. It is literally engineering driven stuff that has been flowing into the design workflow, and you can optimization makes you creative, but that's what true. When you say that the world is getting monotonous in terms of language, it happens every 10 years. When App Store, Google Store were made, they saw people getting random crappy apps, so they launched Google Design System. Guess what happened in the next 3 years? Every app looked the same. Why? Because everyone picked the material design, shook out it everywhere. Then people who were thinkers, they came and said, oh, mine's gonna look different, I'm gonna make this. Again came a word where everyone stopped following system, they made that. Now, with all these AI tools creating UI, what do you think they're gonna do? It's gonna take everything, generalize it, come up with a structure, and every app's gonna look the same. And then you're again like, nah, we're the same. Then again, things will create something different. That's just how the world works. Your language does not end here. It's just gonna create. So the good thing with it happens in this whole flow is everything is there becomes a good standard.
Then it was again.
Becomes a good standard. So it is moving in the right direction, but we're just in the place. So it's just gonna come. It's gonna eventually go, and we'll make something far better.
It's pretty interesting way to look.
New perspective unlocked.